It was 1983. Trust no longer existed.
They are the focus of evil in the modern world.
Just weeks earlier, a civilian airplane had been shot down by Soviet forces.
269 people were killed.
At 12:40 a.m., the world almost ended, and almost no one knows it ever happened. There were no explosions, no sirens, no headlines the next morning, just a silent room deep inside the Soviet Union and a screen that suddenly came alive. A warning appeared. Nuclear launch detected. The man staring at it was Stanislav Petrov, and in that moment he became the last barrier between peace and total annihilation. Outside, the world slept, unaware of how close it was to ending. It was 1983, the height of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union stood armed with thousands of nuclear weapons, each side ready to respond within minutes if the other made a move. Trust no longer existed.
They are the focus of evil in the modern world.
Only suspicion. Just weeks earlier, a civilian airplane had been shot down by Soviet forces.
269 people were killed.
The world was already on edge, waiting for something worse. And now, inside a classified bunker, that something worse appeared to begin.
The system flashed again. Missile launch confirmed. Then another alert. Then another. 5 nuclear missiles were now detected heading towards Soviet territory. If true, this was the start of World War III. The system was designed to be trusted without hesitation. Petrov's job was simple: report the attack immediately. That report would trigger a massive nuclear retaliation. Hundreds of missiles would launch within minutes. Entire cities would vanish before anyone could react.
The room grew quiet as officers waited. All eyes turned to Petrov. But something didn't feel right. Why would the United States launch only 5 missiles? A real nuclear strike would be overwhelming, not limited. The system said attack, but his instincts said otherwise. Seconds began to stretch into something heavier. Every second mattered more than the last. Protocol demanded immediate action, but Petrov hesitated. What if the system was wrong, and what if it wasn't? If he ignored a real attack, millions would die. If he reported a false one, millions would still die. There was no safe decision, only a choice between 2 disasters. The warning lights continued to pulse in the dark room. The air felt heavier with each passing moment. Petrov stared at the screen, searching for certainty. But certainty never came. The system had never failed before, but something about this felt off. The trajectory data seemed incomplete. The pattern didn't match a full-scale attack, yet the alarms insisted it was real. The clock was still ticking. He could not wait forever. The phone to high command sat within reach. One call would change everything. One sentence could start a war. The room held its breath. Petrov made a choice. He did not report it as a confirmed attack. Instead, he called it a system malfunction. It was a direct violation of protocol. If he was wrong, the consequences would be irreversible. Now, there was nothing left to do but wait. Minutes passed slowly. Every second felt like a countdown to impact. Eyes remained fixed on the screens. No one spoke. The world outside remained quiet.
Was that silence temporary or permanent? Then something unexpected happened.
Nothing. No explosions. No incoming missiles. The attack had never existed. The system had been fooled. Sunlight reflecting off high-altitude clouds had triggered the sensors. A simple optical illusion nearly caused global destruction. And only one man had questioned it. One man had chosen doubt over blind trust. And that choice saved millions of lives. But the story didn't end there. Petrov was not celebrated as a hero. Instead, the incident was buried. The system was not supposed to fail, and neither were the people operating it.
So the world never heard what almost happened. Years passed in silence. The Cold War eventually came to an end. But that night remained hidden. Until fragments of the truth began to surface. Slowly, the story of Petrov emerged. Not as a soldier who followed orders, but as one who chose to question them. His decision redefined what it meant to protect a nation. Sometimes, the greatest act of duty is doubt, especially when the system demands certainty. That night was not about technology. It was about human judgment and how fragile our world truly is.
A single error nearly triggered a global catastrophe. A single decision prevented it. And that decision came from one person. Not a machine, not a protocol, just a human being under pressure. Imagine if someone else had been in that chair, someone who trusted the system without question. History might have ended differently. Entire cities erased in minutes, civilization collapsing overnight, all because of a false signal. But that didn't happen, because Petrov hesitated, because he thought, because he doubted. And in doing so, he saved the world, without recognition, without reward, without most people ever knowing his name. History is often shaped by moments we never see.
Decisions made in silence, under pressure we can barely imagine. That night, the world didn't end. Not because the system worked, but because one man didn't trust it and chose to wait, to question, to risk everything so that everything could continue. And if he had chosen differently, this story would never be told, because none of us would be here to hear it.